Correspondent Gene Casares is in Lima, Peru, and has been following closely this investigation. And Gene, I hear you have some new information about the police investigation.
Well, Ryan, we were just able to get into our hands one of the chief investigative reports from the National Peruvian Police Criminal Investigation Unit about the several hours before the body of Stephanie Flores was found. Now, what happened was this was leaked to local television. We were able to then receive a copy from that station. Here's what we've learned. First of all, Tuesday night, June 1st, about 11 o'clock p.m. at the Hotel TAC, that is where Joran was registered. A call came in from the Atlantic Casino. A woman wanted to be transferred to his room, so the front receptionist transferred the call to the room. It rang, it rang, it rang, nobody answered. So the front receptionist told the woman he must be asleep because his key is not here at reception. Well, after that, she looked at the records and she found that he had not paid his room rent for 2 days. So she went to the door of the room, she knocked, and no one came to it. She heard a blaring television, but no one came to the room. She went back to the front desk. About an hour later, she called her supervisor, and the supervisor said, "Get the spare key, go to the room, and go in." So that's exactly what she did. When she opened the door, she saw bright lights. She saw a television that was on and was blaring. She looked to her right, and she saw a body on the floor. She thought it was Joran Sloot originally, but then she saw long, dark hair. She saw that that body had a polo shirt on, a t-shirt on, but no pants, just red panties, and it was a female. She saw that blood was coming out of the mouth. She saw that her legs were bent at the knee and her knees were up toward her chest. She also saw that there was an article of clothing, a white khaki white clothing that was partially covering the body. She also noted that the sheets were off of the bed and were on the floor. The bed was in total disarray. She left the room, called her husband, called 911. That is when police arrived, and that is the scene that police saw when they first arrived on this case and found the body of Stephanie Flores.
Wow, Gene, shocking details, and certainly shows, at least to me, some sort of violent interaction. Earlier on in session, International Defense Attorney Michael Griffith spoke to my colleague, Vinny Politan, and he talked about the horrible conditions of Lurigancho prison in Peru. Take a look at this.
There's 10,000 inmates in an area for 3,000. They've got the Shining Path guerrillas called the Sendero Luminosa, the ones who tried to overthrow the Peruvian government. You've got 600 guys in a dormitory of where the showers, 12 showers, work once a week for 15 minutes. You've got 35 guys in a room, 25 by 15, of which 7 or 8 sleep on the floor. There's no toilet, there's a hole. If you want to have food, you have to have somebody bring it in. The food that they make are made in giant vats with hoses from the ground, with excrement and insects around.
Wow, you think U.S. prisons are bad. Gene, isn't that one of the places that Sloot could end up going if he's convicted?
Well, here's another thing we're finding out. Now, of course, I am before the criminal investigation building for the National Police. Joran Sloot is right behind me in one of the holding cells within this building. Once the criminal investigation concludes, he will be moved from this facility, we understand, to a downtown facility that is in alignment with the prosecutor's office. At the point that formal charges are given, and that will be about 24 hours after he arrives there, it will be the judge that determines where he will go from there. And I'm talking about another jail during the pendency of this case. Now, normally when you're a first offender, you go to a very low security facility. But because this is a homicide, and a very gruesome homicide, it is in the minds of many here, attorneys we're talking to, that he may go to a facility where only the most violent alleged criminals stay. So it may not be the conditions that Joran Sloot would want to be at, even at a jail here in Peru.
Wow. All right, Gene, let's bring in 2 members of our trial team. In-session legal contributor Sonny Hostin and law enforcement contributor Mike Brooks. And let's talk about the prison that Sloot may go to. Mike, I know you've worked with international governments. Have you ever seen anything like the prisons that are described here? Because to me, they're just shocking.
You know, everybody talks about Mexican prisons and everything else. No, and you know, this is so high profile, Ryan, and he killed someone who is very well known in Peru. Her father was a race car driver, very well connected there. You know, he could or may have to be put into segregated confinement to keep him away from the general population, because if he was put into general population here, you know, it could be very, very ugly for Mr. Vandersloot.
You know, the rules are like that here. I wonder if they have the same kind of rules in Peru. Now, Mike, you just heard Gene talk about that crime scene, what they came upon when they went into that room. What does that tell you? Just in a cursory fashion. I know you're not there, but you process so many crime scenes.
Well, and one of the other things that just kind of jumped out at me, you know, we talked about before, you know, was there a possibility of someone else going into that room from the time that he left to the time that she was discovered? Look at the quality of that video outside of his room. They're going to be able to say, you know, was he the only person that left till this woman went to the room on the early morning hours of Tuesday, June 1st? They're going to be able to tell that. And also, that crime scene, they're going to take a look at what he had on. He had totally different clothes going in than what he had coming out. And did he have any pieces of luggage did he originally have when he went in? These are all things that they're going to be able to take a look at. You know, was there maybe some of his clothing left there? What kind of, was there any DNA exchanged? We don't know, but there's a lot that we're going to be, you know, waiting for right now to come back during this course of the investigation.
Lots of evidence. And Sonny, this hotel surveillance video of Vandersloot and Stephanie Flores together, how damaging could this be for his defense?
Oh, well, I think significant. And Mike makes an incredible point. We've got video of Joran going into the hotel room with her, coming out alone without her, and I'm sure that they must have video surveillance of that particular room over the days. And really, I think your only defense is, okay, they went in and he came out, but someone else must have gone in. If there is no video of anyone entering or exiting that room other than Joran, I think that this is sort of the smoking gun in this case, the bombshell evidence. I don't know what defense attorney can get around that.
All right, Gene Casares, great reporting all the way from Lima, Peru. Mike Brooks, Sonny Hostin, as always, great to have you. Stay with us for a second.